हाय गाइस, वेलकम टू फर्स्ट सेशन ऑफ बिजनेस स्टडीज फॉर क्लास 12। इस सेशन के अंदर हम बिजनेस स्टडीज के क्लास 12 के सीबीएसई टॉपिक को रिवाइज करेंगे एंड विल यूज फ्लो चार्ट्स टू डिस्कस द एंटायर टॉपिक इन अ सिंगल गो। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद आवर चैप्टर नंबर 1, जो कि है नेचर एंड सिग्निफिकेंट ऑफ मैनेजमेंट। नाउ the first thing, what do we understand by management? So if we go by the definition of management, it is the process of getting things done, and not only to achieve the objective but to achieve them efficiently and effectively. The process of taking charge of different activities in any enterprise is what management is all about. Now ये जो management है, ये एक organization के अंदर बहुत essential activity है, and it is followed by almost every organization, whether that organization is big or small, whether it is a profit making or non-profit organization, be it a service organization or a manufacturing concern or a trading concern, you will find this management having everywhere. और ये जो मैनेजमेंट है ये एक प्रोसेस है. सो व्हाट डू मीन बाय प्रोसेस? सो द फर्स्ट थिंग वी नीड टू नो अबाउट प्रोसेस इज दिस मैनेजमेंट इज मेड अप ऑफ अ सीक्वेंस ऑफ अ लॉट ऑफ स्टेप्स. ये बहुत सारे स्टेप्स हैं जो एक साथ मिलके एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को चलाते हैं. Now the performance of these steps, the performance of the sequence of steps is what makes the management a process. और ये functions हम already आगे chapters में cover करेंगे. And these processes are what? These are planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. Then management के अंदर जो दूसरा important element है वो आता है effectiveness का. So what do you mean effectiveness? Effectiveness is basically getting a thing done in time. But doing a work and achieving that end result is not sufficient in itself. किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए इफेक्टिवली काम करना जरूरी है, लेकिन उसके अंदर जो वो रिसोर्सेज यूज कर रहे हैं, दैट रिसोर्सेज हैज टू बी utilized properly. So therefore the efficiency concept comes in. So what is efficiency? That is doing the stuff in the right way. So what do you mean by right way? Making sure that when objectives are achieved, when you achieve those end goals are achieved by utilizing your resources in an optimum manner, reduce wastage, and reduce the use of the money, that is your monetary resources, using the optimum amount or the minimum amount of your physical resources and your human resources. Management is concerned with efficient use and effective use of your resources, and as we said, it is a process by which you achieve the organizational goal as well as the individual goal. Because this is, we are going to study further that management is not only made up of organizational goals. Management is a group activity, that is lot of individuals, they come together to perform those tasks. So there are individual goals also involved. So in management we have to make sure that those individual goals and organizational goals, they are achieved effectively and efficiently. So the next thing is, what are the characteristics of management, or what are the features of management? First of all, management is a goal oriented process. What is goal? So if you are working in an organization, so the goal of an organization will be either to earn a lot of profit, to achieve certain market stature, to achieve some market share, to become pioneer in their own field. So this management is the function which is always aiming towards a goal, a organizational objective. All the activities and functions which a manager perform, ultimately they lead to the fulfillment of that goal. कोई भी मैनेजर अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अंदर जो फंक्शन परफॉर्म करता है, वो सारे फंक्शंस वो फोकस होते हैं, डायरेक्टेड होते हैं एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल गोल को अचीव करने के लिए. बट एज वी हैव just discussed that management is made up of different individuals also. Those individuals also have their individual goals. So making sure that organizational goals and individual goals, they do not contradict each other. So the first feature of management, it is a goal oriented process. Then management is all pervasive. All pervasive means it is present everywhere. So चाहे आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन सर्विसेज की हो, ट्रेडिंग की हो या मैन्युफैक्चरिंग की हो, you will find management there. Whether your organization is profit organization or non-profit organization, whether it is big or small, you are going to find the concept of management everywhere, and it is applicable, or it is present in entire organization of this entire world. be it India, be it America, be it Germany, be it France, you will find that management happens everywhere in every organization. Be it the government also. In government also, you will find that this concept of management is there. Then management is multidimensional. So what do you mean a multidimensional? So management involves management of work, management of people, and management of operation. So what is management of work? So any organization is there to do some kind of activity. So do some kind of job, to perform some kind of task. A management activity or the activities which are there in the management, their aim is to accomplish those tasks, is to fulfill those tasks. Now, these tasks or work, they depend upon the nature of work being performed. So, for example, if you are studying right now, so your institute is a education institute, that is a school. In that school, there is a work. The work is to teach the student. Now, how that work is performed depends on how that school is managed. Similarly, you have example of a hospital. In hospital, the management aim is to make sure that those medical facilities, those healthcare facilities are provided to everybody effectively and efficiently. Then you have management of people. Now, our organization is made up of a lot of individuals who are coming together to perform a task, to perform different tasks. The aim of those tasks is to achieve organizational goals with individual goals. So therefore, this management of people becomes very important because ultimately it is the people who are performing those tasks. So you have to make sure that your employee needs are fulfilled. Organizational goals इस तरह से नहीं अचीव होने चाहिए कि इंडिविजुअल गोल्स को सेक्रीफाइस करना पड़ जाए. अदरवाइज योर इंडिविजुअल्स, द एम्प्लॉइज विच आर वर्किंग इन योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, दे विल नॉट फील सेटिस्फाइड एंड दे विल लीव. And then taking care of these people as a group. Then you have management of operation. Now these people, and they, when they come together to perform a work, so it becomes an operation. So operation is there because there are people and these people are performing a work. So for example, converting a raw material into a final good is an operation, that is input, processing and output. So making sure there is a proper management between input, that is the raw material, the processing, that is how those raw materials are converted into a finished goods, and then finally how that finished good is sold to the customers. Everything involves operation, and these operations are also a part of management. Then management is a continuous process, that is management does not stop. It is a never ending function. All the functions which a typical manager performs in an organization, that performance is always continuation in nature. Although once your objective is achieved, management does not stop. A new objective will be set, then again the management process will take place from the scratch. So whenever you are doing planning, whenever doing staffing, whenever doing organizing, that is different functions of management, you will find that these functions are performed over and over again on a continuous basis. Also because organization, they exist in a business environment, और ये जो business environment है ये continuously change होता जा रहा है, dynamic है. So it also makes your management a dynamic function. We'll come to it. Then management is a group activity. As we have said that no single individual can run an organization. किसी भी एक इंसान के बस में नहीं है कि वो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को खुद से रन कर सके. So therefore, in order to run an organization, you need a lot of individuals. So therefore, there needs to be a coordination between the individuals and the organization. The job of the manager or the job of a good management is to make sure these group activities are performed in a cordial manner. So even the result of management affect every individual and every department of the organization. So therefore, it is a group activity. क्योंकि आपका जो मैनेजमेंट डिसीजन है वो खाली आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को अफेक्ट नहीं कर रहा, उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में जो इंडिविजुअल्स है उनको भी अफेक्ट कर रहा है. Each individual will perform his or her own task within the realm of the management. Then management is a dynamic function because the organization which is performing this management, that organization is operating in a business environment, and business environment is a dynamic. Business environment exists in a dynamic environment. That is, that business environment is changing continuously. So the management has to be changed continuously. Management has to keep a track of the environment and evolve with the environment. And then management is an intangible function because you cannot see the management. You only see the result of a good management. If your organization is achieving its goal, if your organization is successful, if your people are happy, this means the management is good. On the other hand, if your organization is not able to achieve its objective, your employees are leaving your organization, your employees are not happy with your organization, this means that management is not being done properly. So therefore, you cannot see a good management or a bad management. You can only see the result of a good or bad management. So therefore, management becomes an intangible force. After that, you have the different objectives of management. So there are three objectives of management. Now, what is objective? What do you mean by objective? Basically, all the activities which you perform, those activities are focused or they are aimed towards achieving a specific goal. सो ऑब्जेक्टिव्स आर दी एंड, ये वो एंड है जिनके लिए आप अपने लाइफ में जो भी एक्टिविटी परफॉर्म करते हो वो उन गोल्स को उन एंड को अचीव करने के लिए आप जो भी एक्टिविटीज करते हो उसको हम बोलते हैं ऑब्जेक्टिव. नाउ इन अ मैनेजमेंट देयर आर थ्री objectives which a management needs to achieve or they need to work towards. First of all, you have organizational objective. Now, these objectives aim at the prosperity and growth of the organization. Now, remember, the organizational objective is not only to earn profit. सिर्फ प्रॉफिट कमाना है किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए काफी नहीं है. Profit, obviously, these are profit is the one of the most important objective of any organization, but is not the only objective, because profit will help you to survive. So survival also becomes a very important function of management. It also becomes a very important objective of the organization, because if you are not able to survive, your competitor will eat up your space. So if you want to survive for a long period of time, you need a good management. Then you need growth. For example, if I'm working and my market share is only 1%, so for me, my organization will be successful if over a period of time I am able to increase my market share from 1% to 5% or from 1% to 10%. So if my organization is registering growth, then I would say that okay, my management is performing its objective. अगर मैं मार्केट में लॉन्ग टर्म स्टैंड करता रहा हूं लेकिन मेरा मार्केट शेयर गिरता जा रहा है, दिस मीन्स माय मैनेजमेंट इज नॉट वर्किंग टुवर्ड्स इट्स ऑब्जेक्टिव. Then the social objective, as we have said, that organization does not exist in isolation. कोई भी एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन अपने सोसाइटी के अंदर रह के काम करती है. So therefore, because they are working within the society, they are also utilizing the resources of society. So it becomes important for the organization to also make sure that their societal objectives are also fulfilled. So what are the different societal objectives which our organization should achieve? First and foremost, if you are employing people from your environment, if you are employing people from your society, you make sure that they are paid according to their skills. There is no discrimination when you hire people. There is no there is a financial support to the community from which you are hiring the individual. You provide them with a quality product at a reasonable price. You provide employment opportunities. You give them a fair wage. You do not do such activities which harm the environment. So for example, you should not perform any processing activity which could harm your environment, which could harm the air or the water. So therefore, the societal objectives is also one of the very important objective of your management. Then you have personal objective or human objective or individual objective. Because again, organization is not one person. Organization is a group of person. So the main individual objective of management are what? To provide your employees with a competitive salary. Just because you have a lot of employee does not mean that you will exploit them. If individual is performing a good job, then they should be commended for it. They should be promoted. Proper training should be given before giving them a task which might be dangerous. You should always train your employee if you are giving them a task which might be dangerous. So therefore, training also is a very important objective of the organization. Development of your employee so that their self-esteem is also fulfilled. Peer recognition, self-respect. You should treat your employee with respect. You should not shout at them. If they have done a bad job, it's okay to give them, if they have done a bad job, it is not good that you scold them in front of everybody. You can give them proper training. You can give them proper tools so that they do not commit the same mistake again. And finally, to provide them good and healthy working environment, because more often than not, your individuals or your employees, they do not perform well because proper tools are not available to them, because the working conditions are not very hospitable for them. So therefore, it becomes a very important objective of the organization to make sure that your employees are equipped with the right amount of resources. After that, we have the importance of management. So first and foremost, management helps in achieving group goals. So the job of management should not be limited to achieving the organizational goals only. The goals of the individuals who are running that organization is also very important. So a good management will make sure that individual goals and organizational goals they integrate with each other. Then you have management increases efficiency, that is, it reduces wastage. The goals are achieved in a timely manner, but more importantly, with less amount of wastage and with optimum use of resources. So everything you do in planning stage, organizing stage, staffing stage, directing stage, and controlling stage, all these activities should be there to increase efficiency, not just achieving the goal in time. Then you have management creates a dynamic organization. Now, dynamic organization, because every organization they work in a business environment, and we know this thing that business environment keeps on changing. So if you are doing management in a very rigid manner, so environment will change and your management will be rigid, so you won't be able to achieve your organization goals. So efficient management motivate people to adopt to change. Rather than scare them about the change, you should tell them why a change is important for them. So right now you will see a lot of organizations they are adopting the artificial intelligence or machine learning, and they know that people are scared that they will lose their job. So this is where a good management will come in. This is where the management will tell its employee that listen, this AI tool is there to help you achieve your job in a proper manner, in a efficient manner. Then management helps in achieving personal objectives. So this point and your point number one are sort of related. Every individual who is working in an organization, they also have some individual goals. Some of them want to be financially independent, some of them want to be professionally groomed. So therefore it is the job of the management so that they bring maximum prosperity to their employees, and they make sure that their employees feel fulfilled while doing the job. You should not demean your employees, you should not scold your employees. Make sure that your employees are given proper training so that not only they achieve the organizational objective but also the personal objective. Then finally, management helps in development of a society, because management is using the resources of the society. And if a management is performing its societal goals as well, societal objectives as well, so they will make sure that they provide ample opportunities for the people from that society to join their organization and develop them. Because if the individual from the society will develop, the society will also develop correspondingly. So if I increase my production in the management, it will also help the country's GDP to grow. If I am making sure that my employees are taken care of, then they will also feel good and they will also work equally for my company. So you provide quality goods to the customer, you provide comparative salaries to your employee, you create proper employment opportunities. You should not exploit your employees. Then you have what is the nature of management. So the first thing is, let us see management as a science. Now we know what science is. In science, you have a systematic and organized body of knowledge. So there are a lot of experimentation, and those experimentation are observed, and the results, the events, the fact are recorded. So does my management act as a science? So in management, you have a systematic body of knowledge. So you will find a lot of study material which is available, which can be uh, read so that you can become a good manager. So yes, this feature of a systematic body of knowledge is there in the management. Then you have principles based on experimentation. Now in science we know how the results are drawn. You perform an experiment and then you observe the experiment and then you write down the result. and these experimentations are done on a large scale. So therefore in science, every time an experiment is done and the results are same, then they become a principle. But in management, because more often than not you are dealing with humans, management जो है वो human से deal करती है, and humans reaction to different situation is different. Two individuals, they are not going to behave similarly in a situation. So therefore, because of that presence of human nature or that human factor, the experimentation might be different for different time. So therefore, this feature is only partially present in the management. So therefore, management is not an exact science. You can call it a social science. Then you have universal validity. Now again, how management is done in India versus how management is done in any foreign country like America or China or France or Germany, that will be different. But science is not different. Science, whether done in India or America or any other country, they will be same. The results will be same. But as far as the management is concerned, universal validity is not there because again human nature is there na? So therefore management is not an exact science, it is an inexact science, or you can call it a social science. Then you have management as an art. Now in art you require a lot of skills, in art you require a lot of creativity, and more importantly, to become a good artist you need to perform your function, or you need to perform that activity in a very regular manner. So if you want to become a good painter, you cannot become a painter just by drawing one or two drawings. You will have to draw on a regular basis. You have to learn about how the color system works. You have to learn how a perspective system works in drawing. So as far as the art is concerned, yes, in art also there is a systematic body of knowledge, and we have already covered. In management also there is a lot of study material is there which you can go through to learn some basic fundamentals of management. Then you have personalized application. Every artist, for example, every dancer, they will come out with their own step for a single song. So therefore, how a dance is done on in a single song depends upon different dancers. So therefore, this personalized application is present in the art. So what about management? No two managers are going to perform one task similarly. Every manager will perform the task according to his own experience, according to his own understanding of the situation. So therefore, manager learn same management theories and principle, but how they apply those principles, how they apply those theories depend on how well they understand those principles or what are their experiences are. So therefore, that presence of skill and creativity becomes a very important factor in management. So therefore, in management also there is a scope for personalized application. And then the third aspect is practice and creativity. This feature is also present in the management because, like art, you require a continuous practice. In management also, you require to continuously evolve yourself according to the evolving situation. Now, every manager, they go through the same theoretical knowledge. They study about the same principle of management. They study about the same rules of management. But how they apply it depends on their experience, how in past they have dealt with the situation. So there is a lot of scope for practice and creativity in management also. So yes, management is a art. Finally, management as a profession. Now, when we talk about profession, think of profession like a doctor, think of a profession like a chartered accountant, think of a profession like a lawyer. All these fields, all these professions have a well-defined body of knowledge, just like the management. Then you have a restricted entry in the profession. So everybody cannot become a chartered accountant. To become a chartered accountant, you will have to first take a series of tests. You have to pass a series of examination. You have to undergo a series of training. You have to take a membership. After you are done with all of that, you have to take the membership of ICAI, and then you can call yourself a chartered accountant. So there is a restricted entry in the field of profession. But unlike that, In management, everybody can become a manager. Now, whether you have done an MBA or not, you can become a manager because manager is not an exact science. You don't have to get a degree to become a manager. And how a management is done, how a manager applies or deal the situation, that also is learned on the job. So therefore, in management, there is no restricted entry. Then you have a presence of professional association. So for example, I took the example of chartered accountant. A chartered accountant is a member of ICAI. So therefore, a chartered accountant will be associated with a professional association. But unlike that, every manager will not be a part of an individual association. Yes, there are associations like AIMA in Delhi, that is All India Management Association, or you have National Institute of Personal Management in Kolkata. But legally, it is not compulsory for any manager of an organization to become a part of that professional association. Then you have existence of an ethical code. Now, because there is a professional association, every association will have their own code of conduct, how you should behave, what should be your practices, what should not be your practices, what do's and don'ts of a profession. They are established by those associations. Now, because there is no legal association for for management, so there is no legal obligation for a manager to follow an ethical code. But it does not mean that a good manager should not follow a certain set of ethical code. Of course, they should follow, but there is no legal obligation for any manager to follow any given ethical codes. And then you have service motive. Now, the motive of any management is to make sure that the organization for which they are working, the goals of the organization is achieved. But as we have studied in the organization objectives, profit is not the only objective of any organization. It is the important objective, yes, but it is not the only objective. There is objective of survival also. There is objective of growth also. But other than that, there is a societal objective also. So the service motive of the management should not be restricted to profit maximization. It should be focused toward the economic objective as well as the social objective. So you can say that management is it is not a full-fledged profession, but yes, if you are a good manager, you will treat yourself as a professional. Then let us go through the different level of management. You have, in a typical organization, your management is divided into three hierarchies. So you have top level management. This includes your board of directors, chairman, president, CEOs. They have the highest authority in the organization, and everybody in the organization is accountable to them. Then you have middle level management. This includes your departmental heads. So you have a head of purchase department, that is a purchase manager. Similarly, you have sales manager, marketing manager, executive officer, plant superintendent, division heads. They are accountable towards the board of directors, and they have a little bit less authority than the top level management. And on the bottom level, you have supervisory level, that is operational level. It includes your superintendents, foremen, section officer, sub department executive, clerks. Their job is to make sure that the policies are applied, the plans are applied at the working level. They have the least authority and they are the most accountable, because they are accountable to the middle level also and they are accountable to the top level also. So let us go through them one by one. First of all, you have top level management. Now, top level management, why? Because they are top level management, their main function is to determine the objective of the enterprise. Now, whether those objectives are long term or short term, all the objectives of the organizations are performed by them. Then framing of plans and policies. Now, it is the top level which frames the plans and policies for the entire organization, and it is their duty to make sure that the activities are organized, activities which are to be performed by the middle level. It is the top level which will assign the job to the individuals who are working in the middle level, and it is the job of the top level to make sure that all the resources which are required for the activities to be performed or the objectives to be achieved. Now, resources could be in the nature of finance, in the nature of physical resources or human resources, it is the job of the level management to make sure that these resources are available so that the day-to-day activities can be performed. Now, let me remind you, top level management, they will not do the day-to-day activity. वो डे टू डे एक्टिविटी में पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करते हैं, बट दे मेक श्योर दैट द रिसोर्सेज विच आर रिक्वायर्ड टू परफॉर्म दोज डे टू डे एक्टिविटीज, दो रिसोर्सेज आर देयर. So if any organization needs any machinery, so it is the top level management जो कि उस machinery को buy करेगा. Then they are responsible for the welfare and the survival of the organization, because ultimately they are the person who are running the organization. They are the people who are making rules and regulations. They are the people who are planning and creating the policies, framing the policies for the entire organization. So whether an organization is working properly or not, it is their responsibility. They make plan to run the organization smoothly and successfully. Then these are the people who interact with the outside world. So outside world includes your government, outside world includes your competitors, your suppliers, your media. So these are the people who remain in contact with these people. Then they integrate a diverse element and coordinate the activities of different departments. Now in an organization you will find there are different departments according to the function. You have purchase department, sales department, procurement department, production department, human resource department, admin department. It is the job of the top level that all these departments, they are coordinating between each other. There should not be any mismanagement between these departments. Then they analyze business environment and its implication. Now in the organization, it is the top level who make sure that as the business environment changes, the organization also changes and adapt to those changes, because again these are the people who are responsible to make the plan for the organization. Now whether those plan needs any revision or not, it is the duty of the top level. And finally, they are responsible for all the activities in the business and how that business is impacting the society. The second level is the middle level management. Now middle level is a link between the top level and the operational level. So their main function is to interpret the policies which are made by the top level to the operational level. They are the people who will tell the operational level that okay, this is what the top level have decided and this is what we have to achieve. And because these middle level management, they have their own departments to govern. So for example, if you take purchase department, the purchase department will have a purchase manager. That purchase manager is the head of his own department. He is the top level management of his own purchase department. So everything which a top level does for the organization, the purchase manager will do the exact same thing for his purchase department. So for example, to find out what kind of individual is needed to perform the job and appoint the required individual, that is the job of the middle level management. Then to make sure that the people perform their job to the best of their ability. If they require any special tool, it is the job of the production manager to purchase manager to provide it. If any individual needs a proper training, then it is the middle level manager who will offer these resources to his people. Then because in the middle level you will find a lot of organization or a lot of departmental organization, purchase department, sales department, procurement department. These departments, they need to interact with each other, because in order for an organization to work smoothly, these departments needs to interact with each other. There should be a cooperation between these departments. And finally, they are responsible for all the activities in their own department. Finally, you have the lower level or operational level or supervisory level. Now these are the people who carry out the work. They perform the day-to-day activities. They pass the instruction which they have received from the middle level to the actual worker who are working in the ground. They are responsible for maintaining the discipline among the workers. But because these supervisors, they are in contact with the worker, so they are the point where those workers can submit their grievances. And these middle level, these operational level managers, they will convey they will communicate those grievances to the middle level management. So if the working conditions are not good, the worker will tell to the operational level, and then the operational level will tell that the working conditions are not good, the light is not sufficient, the air conditioning is not sufficient, there is no proper ventilation, there is no proper restroom facilities, there is no proper drinking facilities. Any kind of grievances of the lower level or the worker level will be communicated through the operational level. So therefore, operational level, they make sure that proper working conditions are provided to the worker, that the safety of the worker is maintained. They will make sure that the standard of quality of the product which the top level wants to maintain is maintained, because they are the one who is interacting with the workers. They are responsible for raising the morale of the worker. They watch over and manage the employees. They make sure that there is a minimum wastage. So efficiency is more or less in the hands of the operational level management. Top level management तो आपको resources खरीद के दे देगा, but whether those resources are being utilized optimally or not, that is in the hand of the operational level. So these are our different levels of management. Then you have the different functions of management. Now all these functions, planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling, you are going to cover them in individual chapters also. We will also revise them individually, but in short, what is the functions of management? First of all, you have the planning. Now whenever you start an activity, you plan that activity first. So if you are preparing for a board examination, what do? You plan in what day you are going to study what subject, how much time you are going to give to an individual subject, what is the timeline to finish that subject. So basically you are deciding in advance what to do, how to do, when to do, and who is going to do it. Where you are right now and where you want to be, there is a gap between these two positions, and that gap is fulfilled with the help of planning. So you in advance you are setting the objective. Then you have organizing. Now organizing is basically once you have set up the plan, you make sure that those plans are executed in a proper manner. So when you set up a organization structure, you are basically deciding, okay, what are the resources I need in order to achieve those plans. All these decisions are taken in the organization structure. Then you have staffing. Staffing is the third step in the management function. Once you have established, okay, what kind of job you need to do in order to achieve the plan, that is what is your action plan, you need the right people to do it. And whether those right people are recruited, they are selected and employed properly or not, it depends upon the staffing stage. So if you need to perform the job of accounting, so you won't hire a person with a sales background, you will hire a person with a accounting background, and then you will provide him with the proper tools. Then you have the next step is directing. Directing is once you have hired individuals according to their skills, now it is job to give them directions and instruction to perform a job. Now obviously if you have, suppose you have two jobs, first is the sales manager and then you have the accounting. So if you are directing an individual, you will make sure that if that individual has a background in accounting, that he is given the accounts job. अकाउंटिंग वाले बंदे को आप सेल्स की जॉब नहीं दोगे, सेल्स वाले बंदे को आप अकाउंटिंग की जॉब नहीं दोगे. So therefore directing also becomes a very important act of a manager. They act as a leader, the manager, they act as a leader and the guide, so that they can point the individuals, the employees in the right direction. So activities like supervising, motivating, communicating and leadership, they are a part of directing activity. Finally, you have controlling. Now, controlling is basically you have set up a plan and then those plans are put in motion. Now, whether those plans are working according to your decided goals or not, that is where the controlling comes in. You monitor the actual performance with the standard performance or the performance which you have decided in the beginning. If there is a gap between the two, you will make sure that why those gaps are coming, why there is a gap between the planning stage and the execution stage, and then you will make sure that proper uh, activities are done, proper actions are taken to make sure that your work is done according to the plan. Then there is a fifth element of marketing also. There is a fifth function of marketing also, which is not covered, which is coordination. Now, as we have said that in our organization, there are different departments who are working in tandem to achieve a organizational goal. So you have purchase department, sales department, procurement department, administration department, human resource department. All these departments, they need to work in tandem with each other. So therefore you require coordination between them. So activities of different departments should be synchronized. This coordination is the essence of management. So the process by which a manager synchronizes these activities, it is known as coordination. So what are the different essence of coordination? What are the different why coordination is considered the essence of management? What are the characteristics of your coordination? Now, first and foremost, coordination is needed to perform all functions of management. So whether you are in the planning stage or whether you are in the organizing stage, staffing stage, directing stage, controlling stage, coordination has to be there between all these departments. So if you are planning to achieve a goal and but you don't know how to organize those goals, that is, there is no coordination between the planning and the organizing stage, then you won't be able to achieve those objectives. Like management, coordination is required at every level, be it top level, middle level, or lower level. It is the most important functions for any organization. If a company is not coordinated, if there is no coordination between the different departments of the organization, then they cannot achieve their task. They won't be able to survive for long. They won't be able to run for a very long period of time. So therefore, this coordination, that the synchronization between different departments, it is very important for any organization to achieve its goal. Then, what are the natures and features of coordination? First and foremost, it integrates group effort, because we have studied a lot of times that organization is made up of individuals and individuals have their own goal. So there is no need for coordination if only single individual is working. But when you have a lot of individual working in a confined space, so you need coordination between them. If there is no coordination between them, then every individual will interfere with others' job and you won't be able to achieve the goal. Then it ensures unity of effort or unity of action. Now coordination ensures all departments, they are working in tandem with each other. So that purchase department should not be concerned about purchasing a good quality of raw material if finance department does not coordinate with it. So it is the force which makes sure my all departments are binded with each other. Then it is a continuous process. Coordination never ends. So coordination between the sales department and the finance department, between the purchase department and the human resource department. This linkage between these departments, the synchronization should always be present. Even if it breaks even for a single moment, the management can come crashing down, and repairing that will take a lot of time. Then coordination is a pervasive function. Now whether you are in a business organization or whether you are in a non-business organization, whether you are working for profit, whether working for non-profit, whether you are working for a service organization or a trading organization or a manufacturing organization, every organization requires coordination between itself. Then coordination is the responsibility of all managers. You should not say that top level management is responsible for coordination. No, management at every level, top, middle, and operational, they all need to coordinate with each other. Otherwise, you won't be able to achieve the objectives of your organization. Top level, they try to coordinate the overall plans and policy of the organization. Middle level, they coordinate between the departmental activities. And lower level, they coordinate with the activities of the worker. And finally, coordination is a deliberate function. That is, it has to be performed without any confusion and chaos. You have to perform it out of your own will. Without coordination, individual efforts, they cannot be united and integrated. So you have to deliberately perform it. You have to perform it out of all the non-willingness. And finally, what are the different importance of coordination, or what is the need for coordination? First of all, growth in size. As the organization grows, more and more individual will join the organization, and more individual means more individual goals. So as organization grows in size, the need for coordination increases. Employees have their own individual objective. The organization efficiency, it is important. In order to achieve that organizational goal efficiently, it is important to harmonize those individual goals with the organizational goal. And that harmonizing can only happen through coordination. Then functional differentiation. As we have said that in our organization, there are different departments based on their function. You have purchase department, sales department, procurement department, departments created because they are performing a similar function. Now, it should not be that one function or one department, in order to achieve its own objective, they compromise the need of other department. And you can stop that by creating a synchronization between the individual departments. And then specialization. Specifically, when an organization is working, there are a lot of specialists who are running that organization. Now, every specialist feel that their way of doing a job, their way of achieving the objective is the right way. If there are a lot of specialized individual who are running an organization, there is a very much possibility that they might get stuck in a bottleneck situation. That is, every individual is saying, every expert is saying that his way is the right way and others way is the wrong way. So therefore, there is a need to coordinate the activities of all the specialists so that their focus can be targeted towards a common goal, and the organization is able to get the maximum benefit of this specialist. With this, we have finished our revision of first chapter. I hope you like it, and I'll very soon upload more content about the different chapters of business studies, so that before your board examination you can get the gist of an entire chapter in a single video. Thank you so much for watching.